Welcome to Geek Out. We're doing a little bit something different tonight. We're on multiple platforms. I'm Charles. This is Ryan.
How's it going?
Our trading card guru here at Geek Out. He knows a lot about a lot of card games and a little bit about all of them.
That is true.
So tonight we're going to crack a bunch of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty draft boosters, and we'll go over some basic, making sure everything's working good. We will be going over a handful of different things. Magic, how the game works, just what's in the packs, what to expect, and the difference between the different boosters and boxes and sets like that. Chat will be open, so I'll be periodically doing this thing here. So if you've got any questions and you want to say anything to us, we'll definitely acknowledge you. So let's get this going. So first of all, there, Mr. Ryan, these are Magic Kamigawa Neon Dynasty draft booster boxes.
That is correct.
What are the different types of boxes?
So you got three basic types of boxes as far as mass boosters go. You have your draft booster box, which is built for draft and sealed primarily. Those are great things to do with your friends. You grab a group of 8, you grab one box, eight partners, and you're drafting the whole thing.
You always get an art card with the boxes.
Yes.
It's the same art, no matter how many boxes you buy.
The set booster boxes are a bit more for collectors. They come with a little bit less cards in it, but there's a higher chance for multiple rares. Plus, you get art cards and special showcase cards, and then Commander exclusive cards that are meant specifically for the Commander products that only come in the set and collector booster packs, which leads into the third type and the most expensive, hardest to find, collector booster packs, which are all foil booster packs. Come with a very varied amount of stuff. In fact, in this set, that's the easiest way to find the neat and very chaste Phyrexian language magic cards.
Okay, that's the one with the monsters with the gibberish on it, right?
Yeah. Okay. The cards look like they have gibberish, but it's a specific special language to the world of Magic the Gathering. There's 2 specific cards that have it. It is Jin Cataxius, the Progress Tyrant, and then Tamio, the Completed Sage. Those are 2 of the big chase cards from the set you can pull out of that with the Phyrexian language. You can find them in set boosters as well, but they are incredibly hard to find. So we're going to crack through these, see if we can find any of these big value cards to show you guys what's going on, and look and see what we got.
So I got me a Token Samurai.
Yeah.
Those are pretty general. So the best thing about this set for me, for Kamigawa, is the full art lands. And if you haven't seen those are really, really awesome, really pretty lands. And they are, we'll just throw tokens there.
Sure.
And they take your basic lands and they just make them so much nicer.
They do. These lands are absolutely gorgeous. For all the new full art lands that Wizards have been putting out lately, Charles, these are easily my favorite. They are just absolutely beautiful, just gorgeous. Everyone is chasing them. We cannot keep them in stock. People are just buying them out anytime that we get them.
So every Magic set does have their little symbols on them, and they're color coded. So black is
your commons.
Yep. And silver is uncommon. Gold is rare, and then the reddish gold is mythic, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So we've got our first gold.
So Charles here actually got something really, really special. He got a double rare pack in draft. He got a foil card, which not every single draft pack comes with. That's one out of every so many. He got also a showcase foil, so he did really well on that pack. That's a very interesting and very pretty one.
So, Kyodai, Soul of Kamigawa.
Yeah, this is actually a really important character to the story of Neon Dynasty, which we may be able to talk about some later on. It's a very pretty one, though.
That is a really pretty one. And then another rare.
Yeah, that's your regular rare. Every single pack is guaranteed 1 rare, 3 uncommons, and I believe roughly about 9 commons. But yeah, got some neat, good uncommons here. And then I got a Cloudsteel Kieran out of mine. If you're familiar with the game, Magic the Gathering, you might know there's a very popular card called Platinum Angel, which says you cannot lose the game and your opponents cannot win the game. They have turned Platinum Angel and put it onto a creature. That is the Cloudstone Kieran. It's a pretty neat card.
Cool. We got some Crackling Emergence, Bamboo Grove Archer. We're just not even sorting for shit.
Yeah, I'm not sorting.
Kindled Indra, Moonfolk Puzzle Maker, Reckoner's Bargain, Sokazan Smelter, Jakai Naturalist, Tales of Master Shoot. So tell us about these. So these are kind of unique. These have multiple steps to them, and then the backside is another card.
Right.
What does that do?
So what Charles is showing you, and every single pack does come with one of them. It's called a saga. Now, this is the first time they've ever done double-sided sagas. Normally what sagas do, you cast them, and when they come in, they start on chapter 1. They always have 3 chapters. During your draw step, you add an extra lore counter to it and trigger the next chapter of the lore, what's happening here. But now, with these new Kamigawa sagas, when it hits chapter 3, it'll flip over to some sort of creature or enchantment, something special that is to be done, which gives you more value for the enchantment that you're playing. Normally they get sacrificed and go to the graveyard. Now they stick around. So these are even stronger than they've ever been before. Good question.
So my rare on this one is Goro, Disciple of Ryuzi. If I'm saying the names wrong, I'm sorry, guys. Legendary creature, Goblin Samurai. The Goblin Samurai. Goblins are a pretty popular type of animal to monster.
Yeah, they're one
to build a deck around. So
yeah, if you're building tribal, Goblins is one of the strongest tribes in a lot of different formats. It's always really popular. They're great at just spamming onto the board and just being a huge pain in the butt, especially for being little 1/1 creatures. They can do a lot of damage very quickly.
Era of Enlightenment.
Right, there's commons there.
The Samurai.
Okay, here's something really cool for veterans to see. They have reprinted Thirst for Knowledge as an uncommon. This has not seen standard, I believe, since Scars of Mirrodin block. So this is getting back into standard. Now adding it to Pioneer, my preferred constructed format, actually. In fact, I've got a deck that uses this to a great effect. Love it. So glad it's back in the format.
And just in general, Spirited Companion, Enchantment Creature, Dog. There's nothing. It's a basic card, but look at a doggo.
Yeah, it's a cute little doggo.
Cute doggo.
Yeah, that's actually seeing some standard play because it's a good enchantment creature. It's doing.
So you're saying Pioneer and Standard, and we've already mentioned Commander. What is the difference between Standard, Pioneer, and Commander?
Okay, so the differences between Standard and Pioneer and Commander are going to be the different types of formats they are. Standard and Pioneer, Modern, Legacy, those are your constructed formats. Those are your hyper-competitive style formats. 60-card decks, you're allowed to have 4 of copies when it comes to cards, and a 15-card sideboard. That's what most tournaments are played with and function on. When you talk about Commander, it's a little bit more casual now. You can do very competitive Commander. We call that CEDH, Competitive Elder Dragon Highlander. Most people try to just do more standard casual Commander, which is a 1-card format. You've got 1 commander, someone who's leading the helm, and you have 99 cards that support that commander. And this set has done a lot for both in all those formats. Loving that. Look at that swamp. Look how pretty that swamp is. Oh, these full art lands are just gorgeous.
So I got a question, and they've done it in past sets, but Kamigawa really has leaned heavy on the artifact vehicles, stuff like Dragonfly Suit and Brute Suit. What are artifact vehicles?
Artifact is just a type of card that's played. Generally, they stick around on the field and they have awesome effects. Vehicles actually started out in the Kaladesh set, probably about 7 or 8 years ago, almost at this point. And they have slowly crept more and more and more into powerful states where these are probably the most powerful vehicles they've ever printed. Vehicles are kind of like pseudo creatures. What you do is to use them, you have to have at least 1 or more creatures crew them to turn them on to become creatures, and you get awesome value for what they do. For instance, this Reckoner Bankbuster that you see here, when you turn him into a vehicle, at least, is a 4/4 creature for only 2 mana. That's really, really strong. But to get that 4/4 creature value, you have to spend 3 power worth of more creatures to turn it on. So it's kind of one of those investments into something bigger to get a really good value out of it. Ooh. All right, I just pulled a really good uncommon that's been seeing a lot of good play in as far as modern and pioneer goes, and even a little bit standard. The Ani Colt Anvil. This little dude is just this huge value engine. You can sacrifice. Well, when an artifact leaves the battlefield, you get a creature that sticks behind, and you can tap this thing, sacrifice an artifact, and deal damage and gain life. This thing is just a value engine. If you got them, I'd start picking them up and hold on to them because I can see them going up in value and being a staple for the Eternal formats going forward.
I have foil one of those in my collection.
There you go. That's going to probably stick up value.
So, legendary creature, Dragon Spirit, Ao, the Dawn Sky. So, as you can imagine, with it being a Japanese themed deck and Japanese themed set, lots of dragons. Dragons are the driving force in these. Those are the big ones. Now, I got here a spirit token creature. Tell us about tokens and how they work.
All right. So, as you heard me mention earlier, this Ani Anvil that I was talking about earlier makes tokens. So tokens are they are permanent creatures, but they are also temporary creatures at the same time. They don't go to your graveyard. They don't stay in your graveyard. They're just kind of little special editions that you can get. In this case, for the spirit, it's a 1/1 spirit. It gets left behind or added when an effect tells you to do it. In this case of the Ani Colt Anvil, it reads, when one more artifacts you control leave the battlefield during your turn, create a 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature token. So you get to have something leave the field, and you get a creature that sticks behind. That's why it's so good.
We got another one of those. So this is the red full art. So.
All right.
Lizard blades.
So there's also when you get to these full art lands, there's 2 of each color. So 2 different arts for each color. So you saw the first island from the set was this one. Well, I just pulled the second one. So you can see they give you these really beautiful looking arts and lands that come and give a little bit of flavor and just kind of flex in your deck quite a bit. Here's a 2/2 spirit with menace. This set has a lot to do with spirits, tying into that very Eastern theme. Again, it's a Japanese-based set, so there's a lot of spirits and things that go with this.
Which, and this is a Goblin Samurai. Ooh, he's fun. But if you've noticed, whenever you pull a lot of stuff, you can actually make a Ninja Turtle deck.
You can.
Because there's several ninja rats and several ninja turtles. Well, turtle ninjas.
Yes.
They specifically turtle ninjas. So you can very much, if you like the Ninja Turtles, make a deck just built around Ninja Turtles.
You can. There's a lot of new snakes and turtles, and there's some new rats for this set. Rats are a staple to the original Kamigawa block. In fact, if you didn't know, this is a return to this plane, which is a good surprise to a lot of the veteran players of Magic. Kamigawa was a set, wow, maybe the mid-2000s, and actually had a little bit of controversy around it due to the timing of things, but it was a set where they really first introduced almost a complete legendary set. Most of the creatures were legendaries, so specially named cards, and it was a very different kind of format and play, and a lot of people were excited to come back and see it. Now, here's a personal favorite card of mine from this set that I just pulled to rare. He's Greasefang, the Okaiba boss. He's a rat pilot, and he works incredibly well with vehicles. He lets you return vehicles from your graveyard to the battlefield. He can crew them right then and swing them in, and they can do a lot of damage. Favorite combo, one of my favorite new combos in Pioneer, actually.
So I play black-red whenever I play, and I found, and this is just a common card, but I found this is one of my favorite ones that since Kamigawa's come out that's been really, really handy. Clawing Torment. It's an enchantment. It enchants an artifact or creature, and as long as it's enchanted, it is a creature. It gets -1/1 and can't block. So, and at the beginning of your upkeep, they lose a life. So really solid. So you've got some pretty awesome cards in this set. That alone kind of won me a game the other day.
Yeah.
Because he just couldn't get it off. Now, tell me what this goofy little blank thing is that comes in every 3 or 4 packs.
Sure. So that's what's called a check card. Wizards provides them in sets that have dual-faced cards. So all these sagas that are dual-faced, again, have your regular side and your dual side. They provide them in there. So when you are playing in sealed and limited events like draft and sealed, you can play with your decks unsleeved, because not everybody's going to bring sleeves to an event like that, and people won't know what's in your deck. So you have a little bit of mystery still, because those check cards, where'd you stash that one? Let me see that. They still have the traditional Magic the Gathering back to it. So they're replacement cards for your deck, so you can go get it when the time comes.
So what are some of the hot cards we're looking for in this set?
So always the Planeswalkers that come in the set. In this case, you have a returning guest or a returning star from prior sets and stories, Tamio. She's a Moonfolk Sage. She's making a return in this set. Then there's a return of a character that everybody was pretty curious about when she first spoiled. She's the Wandering Emperor. When she first spoiled in the War of Ravnica, or War of the Spark set, no one really knew who she was. There were a lot of theories about who this Wanderer was. A lot of people thought it was Emrakul. So for veterans who know who that is, you're probably laughing on the backside of that, thinking and seeing who she really was. Turns out that she's actually the Empress of Kamigawa, which is, that story is just, this story for the set is really cool and very very interesting. A lot of heartthrobs, a little bit of controversy when it comes to how part of the story went too. And then there's the last Planeswalker in the set. His name is Kaido, or there's actually four, sorry. There's Kaido, who's a ninja. He's part of the hero side of it. And then the fourth Planeswalker is another returning kind of favorite. I enjoyed him quite a bit. His name's Tezzeret. He is one of the biggest villains of the game. Nicol Bolas, one of his minions, and has been on the run ever since, and is working with a very, very evil, and I say evil, and most of you will agree with me, evil race called the Phyrexians. And that is a scary thing to see, that this individual is working with these people, or with this group of beings.
So a funny thing about our office is you're probably hearing some background noise, and our office is right next to a bar.
It is.
There is a paper-thin wall that there's literally just like a little bit of insulation at one point at the top. It's kind of silly. But so you're probably hearing a little bit of the bar. So the bar is also probably hearing a little bit of us and just completely annoyed at whatever we're talking about. But you know what? Whatever.
Yeah, they can do.
So
they can
if you hear some noise, another one of the it's another one of the full art.
Careful, Charles! You're throwing cards everywhere.
Throwing cards.
All right, so I pulled a really interesting uncommon. So people a lot of times just tend to focus on the rares really hard for these sets, and don't always give the uncommons the love that they deserve. Guys, if you're watching and if you play Constructed or you play Standard, for sure you might recognize this little dude, the Generous Visitor. This guy has been tearing up the Standard format. There's two different enchantment decks that are topping and just taking a lot of the highest levels of play. In fact, I've built one at home just to have and be able to play and understand it. It's the Naya Runes deck. This guy is a staple for it, super important, and makes that deck really, really threatening.
Hey, it's Explosive Entry, which is also...
Yeah, it's the
art piece.
Yeah.
It's silly. It entertains me. It's kind of fun.
Well, it's just neat to be able to see how they've expanded on some of the arts and what they focused on, what they think is cool and what we think is cool.
Here's another one of these Dragon Spirit Mythics. Kyrie the Swirling Sky Dragon Spirit. Is that one of the ones we're looking for?
Not necessarily. The ones that we are looking for as far as the big value mythics, or the dragons actually from the set. Actually, I had pulled one of them earlier. I forgot to mention that I had pulled him and we looked at him. He's right here. He is Jinjui, the Midnight Sky. He is the black dragon. Currently, as it stands, this is March 8th. He sits at about $5.99, $6 per copy. He's pretty strong for 5 mana for black 3. He has flying in minutes. He's a 5/5 creature. And when he dies, you either have each opponent discard 2 cards and lose 2 life, or you put a non-dragon creature card from your graveyard onto the battlefield and then you lose 2 life. So he's graveyard recursion or he's hand disruption. Makes sense why he's getting to $6 and might even continue to go up. So if you find him, you got a good pool there. Good old check cards.
Simeon Sling.
Yes.
+1/+1. Artifact creature. Equipment monkey.
It's an equipment monkey.
He flung poo.
He does fling poo. Now, actually, I'm glad you mentioned that card because that's a new. There's the new mechanic on it that they added for this set. It's on the bottom there. It's called Reconfigure. So normally with equipments, you have to pay an equipment cost, and it sticks on that creature. You can move it around from there and there, but once it's on a creature, you can't really take it off and just drop it off. Now with the Reconfigure ability, you can actually pay to just remove that equipment or whatever it's equipped to. It makes it a little bit easier to move around because a lot of these equipment are actually creatures as well as being equipment. So it's a pretty interesting new flavor of mechanic for a very old, very favorite.
Got one of them rat ninjas we were talking about. Okay, so, and I did pull this legendary enchantment creature shrine, Goshentai of Lost Wisdom. This is the blue legendary enchantment creature shrine.
Well, it's funny he pulled one. I actually pulled 2 in my pack. I pulled the red and green one. So they brought back a very favorite. Players really love the shrines. It's an interesting kind of archetype, especially for Commander. These are the first time they've got these shrine enchantments. So while people were first looking at it and saying, whoa, did they make shrine a creature type? This may be breaking some decks. Unfortunately, these creatures do not have a creature type. They are enchantment type shrines, and they do a lot of really powerful effects. In fact, there's a new Commander deck that's running around that's 5-color enchantments that is very fun to play. I'm currently building it, working on it. I'm excited to get it out on the table myself. And here is a silly one. It's the Reality Chip. It's an equipment jellyfish. Equipment jellyfish. Okay. This little card has a lot to do with the story.
Okay.
A lot to do with the story. And is actually, until I did a little more digging around today, just to make sure I had some more of that lore ingrained in my head, I forgot how important and fortunately bad that little piece of equipment is to so many of the planeswalkers that are out there. Really puts a threat for what the Phyrexians might be doing in the future.
Yeah. Tamashi, Reality Architect, Legendary Creature, Moonfolk Wizard. That's a cool one.
It is.
And Shigeki, Jukai Visionary. Another Snake Druid, Legendary Enchantment Creature.
Shigeki is a very funny card. There's an interesting little combo going around in Standard right now with Shigeki and a Flying Turtle. It's very silly. It's a style of decks we call Prison, and it just can lock people down. And but it takes a lot of mana and a lot of turns to get to that. Now I just pulled a dude that I believe is probably going to get banned in Commander in the maybe next 6 months to the year. It's a Satori Umezawa. He gives everything in your hand ninjutsu. It's a returning mechanic from original Kamigawa block. Ninjutsu lets you cast pretty much replace a creature on your that's attacking that's not being blocked for whatever that special ninjutsu cost is. So if a little little 1/1 that doesn't matter at all. Like, yeah, you just take 1 damage. Well, surprise, I can swap him out for a much stronger creature that maybe hits really hard and has a really bad or strong ability that can really affect and change how the game works. He gives everything in your hand, ninjutsu now. And you can swing in and replace some pretty scary stuff with it. For instance, a Blightsteel Colossus, which can instantly kill a player if it hits you unblocked.
Thundersteel Colossus.
Yeah.
Pretty good artifact vehicle with trample and haste.
Yeah. Solid vehicles in this set, like I said. Here's another one. Lion Sash. Got a special alt art version of it. If you're familiar with the game much, you're talking about Scavenging Ooze finally in white. It's a pretty strong card.
Another doggo.
Another doggo.
Another doggo. And this is one of my favorites that's in this set. Goro, Disciple of Ryusi. Legendary creature, another Goblin Samurai.
He's
Actually,
pretty cool.
I already talked about him. Now, this is one of the cool things that they're doing I mean, they do it in every set, but Kamigawa has some really awesome. So these are saying, I thought that name sounded familiar. I thought I already talked about him. He has 2 different art types. So, pretty cool stuff.
Let's look, and I think I may have pulled another card that may be worth something. Let's look to see. Yeah, I pulled the alt art, not the full art. So there are different versions of all of the cards, mostly the rares and mythics. These are what you see here is called a showcase. So it's just a special art version of the card, and they also have what's called full arts. So you lose these borders along the edges. You see that black border along the edge, and lose that, and you get a little bit more graphic that comes on in. A lot of people like the full arts more than like the regular ones.
What's funny is I just pulled my first basic land, like just regular, nothing which is kind of funny because we're pretty deep. Every other land I've pulled is at least a dual color.
Yeah, this set, again, trying to really encourage the draft and help out in the draft format. They've got these, what we call the little life gain lands that are dual colored to help you with your draft and sealed to make your mana pool, available pool, a little bit easier to access and function. In fact, the first time they ever printed that was in Cons Block because of the draft format. Yeah, and sometimes you do get these
junk
advertisements in the packs. Come on, like we need to advertise more.
Yep, I bought it.
Yeah,
we're here.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy more. Why are you telling me, trying to sell me on buying more?
You already got me on the cardboard crack.
Hey, I got my own copy of Goro Goro.
There's another Goshintai of Boundless Vigor, another legendary enchantment shrine.
Mm-hmm. Another full. I love these lands.
Ooh, that's the alternate.
The opposite force.
The opposite force. We haven't gotten that one yet. So.
I love these. These lands are just so pretty.
And you know, I'll say this, like, because of my playstyle, and I cardboard crack.
Yeah.
I got a couple of set boosters, a couple of bundles. I bought a good bit of this stuff, but this set is a lot more green white heavy and blue heavy. It's not very. Like I said, I'm very black red, and because Crimson Vow and Midnight Hunt was very heavy with the black red, they kind of shied away from the black red this one. So I bought a whole bunch of this, and I think I only used, like, other than like making my lands pretty, I think I only used like 4 or 5 cards.
All right, Charles, here we go. I finally pulled a card that's worth quite a bit as far as things go right now. It is sitting at just almost $16.50. It is a mythic rare. It is Jin Cataxius. This guy is nuts. Listen to this. Whenever you cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, copy it. You may choose new targets for that copy. This ability triggers only once per turn. And whenever an opponent casts an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, counter that spell. This ability triggers only once each turn. That is crazy. Oh my goodness. You pulled hot fire. My friend, this card not in foil alone is like $13-14.
So Hideseku consumes all. It's another one of those saga cards that we were talking about, and it's the foil version of it.
Yeah.
So
which almost always ups the value of that card. So great pulls. We had 2 back-to-back really strong pulls.
And followed with the legendary land.
Yeah. Yeah, I love this set. I was not able to play when Kamigawa originally came out, so I've been able to go back and read a lot of the lore and the story and just kind of get familiar with it, and it's a really interesting set.
So tell us a little bit about the story of Kamigawa.
Okay, well, like I said, I'm not an expert on the original story that comes in. In fact, some of these sagas that are in this set actually help tell some of the original story. There was a lot of problems that happened on original Kamigawa the first time we were there. Pretty much what ended up happening was the gods of the plane.
Got a Kura of the Boundless Sky.
Nice.
Another dragon spirit.
Yep. Pretty much the gods of the plane, the kamis, spirits and gods, ended up going to war with the mortal realm. I can't remember. Like I said, I'm not an expert on the original lore when it comes to that. But something had happened, and I believe it was one of the commies had gotten killed, and they blamed it on the mortals, and they went to war, and it was bad. It was really bad. Tore the plane up. The races fought very back to back. It's just not a good time to be a member and an individual on Kamigawa. But as far as this set has gone and talks about it, we're talking this set is like 2,500 years in the future. They did a huge time jump and leap. A lot of people are kind of questioning how fast the time moved, and was a little curious by the skip. But we are a lot further down the line in the future, and a lot of scary stuff and bad things have been happening on this plane since. Pretty much the story that comes with this is starts out with the face card. Actually, you see here this guy on the packaging. His name's Kaido. He's one of the planeswalkers for this set. It focuses heavily around him. He, when he was a young man, child really, ended up becoming good friends with the Empress, the child Empress of Kamigawa, and ended up seeing her become accosted by a strange individual with a metal arm, pink eyes, and a metal arm, who we now know as coming in, or if you've played or a veteran of the game, know it's who that is. It's Tezzeret. Not again a villain, not a good guy. He was in there trying to test. He was experimenting on her pretty much, and ended up triggering her planeswalker spark, and she walked away. And that's who we know is the Empress, or is the Wandering Emperor, the Wanderer. And the set focuses around the story with her, Kaido, and Tamio as they're trying to figure out what's going on this plane now. What is happening? Why is Jin Cataxius here? Oh, speaking of the Wandering Emperor, there she is. This is the second most expensive non-showcase card in the set. She sits right now about just over $21 for one copy of this card. This Planeswalker is phenomenal and does some really cool stuff. You pulled good, man. We each keep pulling hot fire back to back.
Farewell Sorcery is a rare, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a rare.
Choose one or more. Exile all artifacts, all creatures, all enchantments, or all graveyards.
Yes.
That's board wipe.
Yeah, it's a board wipe on top of a board wipe. In fact, it's better than a board wipe because it exiles. That changes how a lot of stuff is done. Long story short, when it comes to the lore of this set, Kaido ends up finding and figuring out who the Wanderer is, gets the Empress back on his side, and he, Tamio, and the Empress end up going to pretty much fight in war with Jin Cataxius and Tezzeret, and end up beating them in combat. And then some pretty bad stuff happens. Remember that card I showed you earlier, the reality chip, that equipment jellyfish? Yeah, that thing, what it's meant to do is to kind of control a Planeswalker's spark, and embeds itself in, kind of helps focus its power a little bit, but is used by the Phyrexians to do something called completion. And Tamio, unfortunately, becomes the very first Planeswalker they ever complete, which means that Tamio is no longer her own. She has now been corrupted completely by the Phyrexians. And it is a very, very sad bit for a lot of people who are very big fans of Tamio. Remember, I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of controversy right now with that. There's that. People are quite upset that Tamio is no longer who she was and has become kind of a villain now. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. So before the stream, we were talking, I mentioned to Charles, hey, there's a token in this set there's two of them actually, but there's one that's available to America right now that's actually pretty expensive. It's over $5. I happen to pull it.
Yeah.
It is the Mech Titan token. It goes along with another card in this set that lets you take a bunch of vehicles and pretty much turn them into the Megazord. And you get, from doing all that, you get a 10/10 with flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, and haste.
Everything but Death Touch.
Pretty much, yeah. Some big important keyword abilities there that makes that thing really strong. And if you do kill that token, you get all of your mechs back except for the original one. If you are interested in really getting to the lore of the story, I strongly recommend you going over to the Wizards, to Magic the Gathering, the website. There's a section there that talks all about the story. There's 5 different chapters. Hey, you pulled another Planeswalker.
Another Kaito.
Yeah, pulled a Kaito. Tells all the story there, and actually some side stories and things as well. Really fleshes out the feels of the plane. And I love lore. I really do. Charles has heard me earlier talking lore with a couple of our regulars, just explaining some things from the world and the set as a whole here and some other places and things. I love the lore. I love storytelling. And I love these stories. They do. Wizards tends to do a good job when it comes to story. And when they don't, it's noticeable, and people complain.
That's one of the things I will say is it took me a long time to get into to start playing Magic, but the lore has always been something that I've enjoyed and thought was pretty solid and awesome. And another one of those. Twin Shrieker. There's no order to anything.
No, there's not really. It's just kind of chaos. I'm stacking all my commons and commons over here. Charles is kind of spreading out, just using all his space.
Whatever. It's all good shit I'm putting down there. Rough stuff I'm putting up.
Man,
here.
I keep talking about Planeswalkers and things. Now all we got to do is pull the Tezzeret because I just pulled the Tamio.
Sweet.
Tamio the Completed Sage. This is a heartbreaking card because so many people love her. She's a family-oriented individual, a good, very, very good character. They would never, again, you know your story and your lore. One of the biggest, scariest Eldrazi, big, scary tentacle monsters, world-eating things, would not have been beaten and trapped if it was not for this woman. And now she has been taken and turned. Tamio herself, the card is sitting right about $5 right now. So again, not too bad for my box so far in value. I mean, really, all I'm missing for our big value stuff is one of the rare legendary lands, the green one.
So are some of those cards that we're talking about? There's just no way you would pull those out of a draft, right?
No, you can pull most everything you can pull out of draft. There's a few things, like I said earlier, like the Commander exclusive cards. Those you can't pull out of draft packs, but we've been able to pull a lot of these showcase. Oh, I'm opening some of Charles.
You're faster than me. I'm letting him talk, and I'm just kind of like, ooh, half reading things. Go Shintai of Hidden Cruelty, legendary enchantment creature shrine. The black one has Death Touch.
See, you must have had an earlier print run on your draft booster box because the rares are all in the front. Mine, the rares are in the back, and that's normally how they're done. Here's a really good card that's doing some impact in Pioneer and in Modern as well. It is Light Paws, the Emperor's Voice. In fact, some of the regulars here, we have a few auras, strong auras players here, and she does a lot of really good stuff. She's really inexpensive right now. I'm talking like $1, maybe $2. Pick up your playset now because this is going to go up once she really picks up speed. I think you're putting your rares there.
Another Oni Cult Angel.
Yeah. Oh, there's your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle you're talking about.
There we go.
Yep.
Kappa the Tech Wrecker.
Yeah, Kappa Tech Wrecker.
That's totally not Donatello. I
Yeah,
promise.
In fact, its creature type, you didn't see it, is Turtle Ninja. So, I mean...
It's not Donatello.
Yeah, it's totally not. It can't be. You know, licensing and all that. Let's see. Oh, yeah, you are organizing it like hardcore.
I'm not doing anything, actually.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I'm literally just kind of spreading it out at this point. I started to, and then I was like, nah. So I got my lands that aren't the Japanese lands here, fancy stuff down here, and everything else is just
kind of all around. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm pretty much keeping this line is mine, and that's about it.
My bad.
I
was gonna label the stuff so that we could kind of have a direction for at least colors, but you know what? It just kind of the day got away from us.
Yeah, the day definitely did. We have been busy ourselves trying to fix things and get things up and running at the store.
Oh, island.
Pretty islands.
Mirror Box Artifact.
Yeah, that card is actually pretty handy in Commander because it lets you get around the legendary rule. It lets you do a lot more. And
there's another Rat Ninja.
Yeah.
Silver Fur Master. And you know, the art on these is just like that's just the best part about this whole thing. It's just the art on it is like super awesome.
It is. Yeah. The Wizards the artists that Wizards employs are just phenomenal in what they do.
And there's been some better sets than others. because I'm black red, I've gone super hard, and I'm a little sad we're not going to be carrying the double features anymore. You are already dead. I just like the name of the card. Just because I really like those, but $10 for what you get is not always the best.
Yeah, that was
it was a pricey set, and it was a limited print, but it was a very cool set, and I am a movie person, and I'm a horror movie person, so the fact that all of those cards were kind of Junji.
Oh, you got your own Junji. Nice.
The fact that they were all kind of just tuned around like classic movie monsters. I really enjoyed that set.
Yeah, double feature was that was very controversial within the community versus Wizards. Wizards kind of made some promises up ahead that talking about the set, and it frustrated a lot of the players from there because it was not really what they had, or what, at least we expected the promise was going to be for that set. Really cool seeing the grayscale on a lot of the cards from Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow, but just, man, I didn't feel like it personally had the value that the $10 that you're paying for that would have got you. That's just
Yamazaki, the General, another legendary creature.
All right, so here's a really cool alt art that we got. It's the reality chip, that equipment jellyfish earlier. It kind of has very special art that went with it, and man, this thing it's pretty cool. I like it.
A different Rat Ninja. He's not special. That's special. Yep. Rat Ninja's not special. Yeah.
In fact, I know a couple players here that might be trying to pick this up off of us as soon as we get them in the case.
Some more fling and poo.
Oh, yeah, a little monkey.
Got a fling poo.
Yeah, I've got a friend of mine who plays in one of my personal pods. He builds monkey decks. He loves monkeys, and when he saw that, he just lost it. He thought that was the coolest creature and token.
Pop you another box, man. All right, so another full art. Now, another one of the Basujo reaches skyward.
Okay.
Cloud Steel Kieran. So, if you didn't know, Kieran, I don't know what it means, but it's the best Japanese beer. It's better than Awasi. It's better than it's better than Sapporo. Yeah, no.
Oh,
Kieran is where it's at. So I don't know what that card does, but you know what? The beer's good.
I think that Kierans are supposed to be pretty much Japanese unicorns. Now, please correct me if I'm wrong, and if I've insulted an entire culture and community, I am so sorry. It's not my intention. But that's the best way I can explain to it. What it is they are like a unicorn Pegasus hybrid.
Let's ask the internet.
To the interwebs.
Kieran.
Oh, Googles.
Kieran, or Kieran, is the Korean form of Killen. It is just, I mean, we're talking. It's Kieran made in Japan. Kieran Ichiban! That's the best beer in the world, man, I'm telling you. There we go. It's a type of yokai. It's a unicorn-like. You were correct. Very much so. One of the rarest, most awesome, and most powerful creatures ever known in East Asia is the unicorn-like Kieran. It's a regal animal, holy and highly revered, and often considered a god in its own right.
Oh, that explains why they put the abilities they did on that Cloudstone Kieran. Okay,
there you go.
All right, so I pulled a different type of token now that I'm going to show you off. It's called an emblem. These are generally for planeswalkers. When you look at a planeswalker, they have what's called loyalty abilities on them. You can either add the loyalty or take away loyalty from them. And that's how like friendly or helpful they are towards you. All of them have generally what we call an ultimate, or you hear people ulti for short. A lot of times that's what these emblems are for. They're just good reminders. You can stick them around and have them. These always good to keep a couple of them on hand if you pull them, because they're not the most common tokens to pull from the sets.
I have seen a couple of those, and some people just kind of discard them, but I was kind of curious of why they look different, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, there you go. Always happy to answer questions.
The bar threw everybody out.
Yes, the bar just got really quiet.
So, It's totally not Cloud Sword, but it's the enormous Energy Blade artifact equipment. It's just plain cool, and it gives your equipped creature +4, so +4/+0. But
Hey, that's a lot.
this is another one of my favorite. Ogre-headed Helm. It's an artifact creature. It's an equipment ogre. It is a rare. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, but he just looks plain goofy. Like he's just plain goofy and fun.
I mean, it's literally a helmet. It's just like
it's a helmet with legs.
Yeah, it's a helmet that's come alive
with an Oni face. He's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like originally, like I said, Kamigawa in its first round was set in effectively feudal Japan. Very, very back, very ancient kind of setup. Very mystic. Very. Ooh, that's pretty. That's pretty. Very mystical in how things were done. Well, now their world is kind of split 50-50 between like a lot of tech and a lot of futuristic stuff, a lot of growth, and the old school traditional feudal kind of styles. And they still have an emperor or the empress who'd be sitting there trying to rule. In this case, the wandering emperor is not at home. But there's a big revolt happening also in this story. You've got the contingency group called the Futurists. I believe it's Futurists. Who are trying to revolution and take over or get rid of the Imperials, the old regime, and kind of bring things up to speed, up to the future. That's why there's so many mechs in this set, kind of tying into Japan's love of mechs.
Giant fighting robots.
Yeah, Gundams and things like that. There's a lot of nods to culture and the Japanese culture, pop culture effectively in this set.
Bunch of weeaboos just weeabooed and just made a card game.
I'm going to sit that one out and let Charles down that hill.
Yeah. I'm sorry to all the weeaboos.
We only try to alienate so much of our clientele, right?
Hey, man, there's nothing wrong with being a weeb. Invoke the ancients.
All right.
Touch the spirit realm. Speaking of weebs.
So Charles, have you talked much with the people about what you do here at the store?
A little bit. I'm the general manager, so I live here just slightly less than Gerhard does. Gerhard's the owner.
Mm-hmm.
And I pretty much run all of the comic books, collectibles, and novel section. Which that's being generous. My wife does the novel stuff on the back end, but she tells me what to order on novels. She's a speed reader and she lives on Book Talk.
Yeah.
So
my wife lives on Book Talk too.
So she literally just will be like, "Hey, yo, this is the list of things you need to order."
Yep.
But yeah.
Or
so
this is what's popular. This is what's about to come out.
Yep. This is what's popular. This is what you need to pre-order. So yeah, that's pretty much. Spend all my time making sure everybody has the best possible customer experience, and we have the best possible cool stuff for everybody to get a hold of.
Mm-hmm. And you came on with us back in December, right? Right around Christmas time.
I've been
full time.
I came full time right after Christmas. Been full time in the store since the beginning of January. Been around Geek Out and been doing stuff on the side for Geek Out since Blake used to own it. Whenever he retired, Gerhard asked me to keep doing the comic stuff that Blake was training me to do. So been the comic guy for a long time. So you may not have seen me, but I was here.
Well, a lot of our customers who do comic book trades and evaluations sure knew you were here.
Yeah,
Charles is very important and necessary for that. Yeah, we are glad that he's on and around. He's definitely given a little more stability to things around here and brought a lot of good ideas and things.
Well, I appreciate that, man.
Oh, absolutely, it's true.
And this guy, he likes doing the weird spreadsheet things, helping us get a little bit organized with a lot of the stuff, which is really cool. And like I don't know what half of this stuff is. Like I won't even lie. Like I'm a comic book person. I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd in my own right. But a lot of the tabletop and TCG stuff, I just did not have any knowledge of, and have been growing since then. And in the last 2 months, I've probably learned more about cardboard crack than I've learned in my previous 40 years.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe this. So yeah, what Charles is talking about, I'm Gerhardt's inventory coordinator, as well as his magic kind of guru, as he was talking about earlier with that, giving that joking title with that. I have also very much familiarized myself with Yu-Gi-Oh! And how it works, the nuances of that.
So my first thing that Gerhard told me whenever I came here full time, he's like, "Hey, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament's on Saturday. That's your responsibility." So Yu-Gi-Oh! Came out after I became an adult, so I didn't watch the cartoon. I didn't ever play the card game. My kids didn't even really get into it. So yeah, so this guy right here, him and one of our regulars that helps judge everything, pretty much had to give me a crash course on how to run a Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament. Which was entertaining. Mm-hmm. Anyway, continue.
Oh, so yeah, so I do that kind of stuff for them. I love it. I also in the regional, or this side of the DFW Metroplex, I'm the judge for X-Wing and Armada, which is a tabletop game like Charles was talking about earlier, which uses Star Wars ships and capital ships to do some fun combat with. I really love it. In fact, X-Wing just got a new update, 2.0 or 2.5 update, so we're loving that. Really enjoying getting to know that new game when it comes to that. I'm a big time nerd when it comes to tabletops and things like that. While Charles is an expert on about half of the store, I kind of end up taking a little bit more of the other side of it. Lots of the trading card stuff. I'm also a dungeon master for D&D. Enjoy that format as well. The role play is quite enjoyable when it comes to that too.
D&D is probably the next thing that you're going to probably end up crash coursing me on, because I used to play D&D many moons ago, back during 2E, and now we're on 5E,
5th edition.
So the last time I played D&D fairly regularly, there were no miniatures. There was no, like, all you did was literally sit around in a circle and scream at each other and roll some dice. I didn't know what was going on. All I knew is I hung out with my friends and we screamed at each other, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
I will tell you that sometimes it has not changed. In fact, the session I had last night was a lot of joking, horsing around, and people trying not to die, as my group ended up fighting a skeleton dragon. So the very first time they've ever interacted with a dragon. That was quite enjoyable and funny to watch how they handled that.
It's just maybe this box been a little bit drier than
my box too has been a little drier. There's I think my second mythic I've pulled from this set. It's the blue dragon. In fact, the cool there's actually a little story with these dragons too. So in the very first set, there was a cycle of 5 dragons, and they were incredibly powerful, and many of them see some standard or some commander play to this day. They're great in the 99. Well, throughout the story, 4 of them ended up dying, and the green dragon was the only one left. And that fact, nope. The green dragon ended up dying, or being the only one left, and decided to take in the essence of what was left of the other dragons into himself, and turn himself into an egg, and outhatched the new 5 dragons.
Okay.
That are there. That's why if you are again familiar with these dragons and their old counterparts, you'll see that these ones seem to be a little more powered down. That is why, because these are not the original incarnates. Yeah, they're the kind of the aftermath of the originals. Again, flavor and things that you find within the cards, and if you do a little digging, or talk to some old veterans, you'll find out these stories and things.
Another swamp.
I think we're still literally just chasing the one last Planeswalker for the set. Now, otherwise, we have a complete Planeswalker cycle from this set. The Tezzeret. He's a really interesting and powerful Planeswalker from this set, too. They just keep doing good when it comes to Planeswalkers, in my opinion. I love it. But yeah, Magic, I've loved playing Magic for a long time. I started with original Zendikar blocks, so this is in 2009. I started very end of 2009 playing Magic. Friends in college got me into it. I ended up taking a little bit of a break after a while, and then came back and really started playing pretty seriously, grinding some little bit circuits. I actually had some pro points to my name. Sponsored by a couple of stores to play play for him at big tournaments and things. I was loving it, having the time of my life. Ended up going back to college and not having the money to continue playing competitively. And then when got up here, started playing X-Wing with the crowd up here, and saw, Magic was still doing well, and said, well, maybe I'll dabble back into Commander a little bit. And it spiraled back into cardboard crack again, as Charles has explained.
And I am trying to avoid the full-on cardboard crack. Now, I'll say this. Now, I mean, a sane person, after you get a handful of cards, just buy singles. But, singles are all well and good, but I just like opening packs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, here's another Kaito. So.
Oh, wow. Nice. That's the most common Planeswalker I think to pull from this set is Kaido. That's the one I've personally pulled like 3 of.
Another Oni Colt.
Yeah. I think he's the most common Planeswalker to pull from this set personally. But continue. You were saying.
No, so there's a lot of really cool stuff here at Geek Out. Like every single aisle is just something else that you can get addicted to fun.
Yes.
And so, I mean, you've got your pop culture action figures at the front of the store, moves into your puzzles and your board games.
Classic board games like
Classic board game. Yeah, so we've got the American standard board games. We've got the modern board games. We've got the super complicated, crazy board games that I don't get. But,
I'm looking at you fans of Seven Wonders. Somebody explain that game to me. I've not been able to figure out how to play it by myself.
I mean, we're talking like Settlers of Catan on crack.
Yeah.
I got the Tezzeret,
nice. Got the Tezzeret
emblem. So
we're halfway there.
There we go. But yeah, so I've been doing my best. And whenever you get towards the back of the store, you start getting into Armada and X-Wing, and I've already got like X-Wing crack, and we get into HeroClix, which is one of my crack obsessions that we're trying to get driving here, which we may do something similar to this for HeroClix next week. But I try to keep, like with Warhammer and Magic and all these things, I try to keep in one zone. And it's really, really hard because I started with black-red, and then I started to toy with the idea of going, oh, well, I'll just do black, red, blue.
Yeah.
Which black, red, blue doesn't really balance very. The blue and the red don't balance. So it's well, now I need to make a different deck that's a black and blue deck. And now we're going down the rabbit hole of, now I can tell you this, I'm staying away from, I don't know why, I just don't like green. I don't want to play green. I mean, now like the Wooburg, as you hear people say, is all colors, which is, that's cool and all, but like I'm really trying not to go down the rabbit hole and have everything. Now, like with Warhammer, I keep it kind of simple. I got one army. That's it. Now I'll get everything for that army as it comes out. But as long as I stick to just one army, it's not too ridiculous. But this, I mean, he was talking about like $20 cards and things like this, and people don't realize that, I mean, there's some, we have $900 lands in the glass for one card.
Yeah, we do have a few of some of the original reserve list dual lands that are, like, one of them does MSRP around $900.
Now, I'll say this. I'm a comic book guy, like we discussed earlier. Do I have some comic books that are in that price range? Sure. Did I pay that much for them? No. But at the same time, I'm enjoying Magic, and that is kind of fun because a lot of times with comic books, especially whenever they get in those high dollar ranges, you send them off to get slabbed, which right now I have my Grail book, which I just can't bring myself to send it off to get graded and sealed, because then it'll be out of my possession for a few months, and just that alone makes me feel bad. But
pretty nervous.
It's like I waited so many years to get this book, and to send it off and get it graded is going to take time. And so, like, yes, I got some books that are in that price range. Fire. But you also can't read a comic after you've had it slabbed. And if you have a valuable comic, a lot of the times you will never touch that comic again. You'll go buy a trade paperback that includes that comic so that you can still read it, but you never damage what is so valuable.
Goro.
Goro, Goro.
Goro, Goro.
He's the new mascot of the store. So it's kind of one of those things where I can understand where, like, if somebody gets a $900 land, they'll literally like put it in a hard shell and then pull out one of these guys.
Yeah.
And write that, hey, I have this card. See, I have this card, but we're not touching this card.
Yeah. I don't want your grubby fingers, your chicken stained fingers touching my cards.
So it kind of makes sense that it's more practical to have a $900 card than a $900 comic book. However,
no, I'm right.
It's not, and I mean, I mean, I've had sports cards that are in that price range too. So I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I don't know, man, but it's crazy.
It is.
We've got these people. We've got guys that'll come in here and drop $900 on a card, and
we do.
But of course, their deck is pretty beastly, and if you aren't dropping money on your deck, you're not playing a game with them. They'll board wipe you the first. They'll wipe you out the game in the first round.
Well, I definitely agree with what you said earlier, by the way, about your box feeling. Mine definitely dried up this time, and that's one of the reasons why you're watching us kind of crack and look at some of the cards and talking about some of the value, because while it is really cool to see, like, oh, dude, awesome, got a foil rare out of this, really pretty things. It is always better to buy singles. You are going to make yourself save money on the end. Your local game store is going to appreciate that support just a little bit more, because you're working through them with some stuff, kind of seeing what they do. Thank you. But man, it feels bad sometimes when you get a box that just is dry, and you look and you're like, man, I paid $120 for a box, and I just don't feel like I got that kind of value out of it. That never feels good. So,
Kyodai Soul of Kamigawa, another white dragon.
But I, as you said earlier, I'm addicted to cracking packs. I love it. It is fun to me, and I'm glad we get to do this. And
it's fun.
Yeah.
And we get to talk about some stuff.
Oh, yeah. Get to talk about the store and things that are coming up and are going on.
So what's going on with, I know we're trying, so Commander's every Friday night at 7.
Yep.
$5 buy-in, price port. What's price port on it for Commander?
So for us, for Commander, what we do is you have what we call pity packs. Everybody's going to get at least one booster. You've paid in for your F&M, you're going to get one booster. If you win your pod, because it's a 4-player pod, you're going to get 2 packs. And it's of whatever is currently in standard. So you can go back to Zendikar Rising through now, and you can get whatever kind of draft booster you want from that. That's our 7 o'clock. Now, we have been starting to go and push and have been enjoying Pioneer. We do that at 9 o'clock. That has a much better payout. Still $5 entry, but you can either get a $10 Jumpstart pack or you get a set booster pack from Kamigawa. Your choice. For every win, you get that. And we're getting a pretty healthy. Oh, nice.
That's a $30 land.
Almost. It's 26 right now. It's the most expensive, not special, like showcase or Phyrexian language card in the set. That card is broken. Broken for what it can do. Yeah, super awesome card. Good pull there.
So, the Sujo Who Endures. It is a legendary land.
Mm-hmm. Again, tying back to some of the original Kamigawa lore, Boseiju was a special tree in the area, and it has endured.
And not Leonardo. We got not Donatello earlier. That's not Leonardo.
But as you were talking about with us, so Pioneer, like I said, we're pushing that format and trying to get players up, and it helps that Wizards has been supporting it a little bit. Last year, they released Challenger decks, 4 Challenger decks that kind of gave different archetype decks for the archetypes, full 60-card, 15-card sideboard decks that were tuned down a little bit from their hyper-competitive version, but it does not take much to bring them back to that level. And yeah, we've got a good, healthy group of people that like to play it. I myself have too many Pioneer decks because it is definitely my favorite format that is constructed, at least. Nice. You got the white legendary land. It's a good one. And so, yeah, if you're interested in playing Pioneer or learning more about it, please come up to the shop. If I'm here, I'm always happy to sit and talk to you about the format, give you some deck edits. I've done that quite a bit with individuals looking for Commander decks, for Pioneer, Standard, Modern. I'm happy to help and give some good feedback and some advice. We got lots of players who are good at that too. And that's our Friday nights. We also have, in fact, tonight we had, about 20 Commander players up here tonight that were here just to hang out and have fun and play just casual Commander. People are up here Monday nights to play Commander as well. So if you're into Magic, yep, give us off. We've got quite a healthy community up here. We're growing and growing and growing more and more.
Now, is there anything that keeps us from doing an official Tuesday night Magic also?
No, we could do that. We could do it. Just it's the tradition is always Friday night Magic. That's Wizards is big onto that and encouraging us to support and run those. But yeah, no, nothing stops us. In fact, a lot of stores and other places do like Modern Wednesdays or Draft Tuesdays. Again, different formats and different things you could do. So that's something we could always explore and see if we have enough people interested in some community things. In fact, I think we're trying to get drafts going on Saturdays now, which would be fun. I always enjoy a good draft. I've been told that this draft format is really fun.
Another shrine.
Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to feel that out and see how that draft format works. Because like I said, I love playing the game in so many different avenues and aspects. This Magic is a stress reliever for me. It's my de-stressor, one of my de-stressors. I love it. So much you can do with it, and so many different ways to play.
That is the thing. Is it can seem very intimidating to get into Magic because there's lots of words and lots of things, and honestly, I found that the easiest way to start processing it is we all have smartphones. Magic the Gathering Arena.
Mm-hmm.
It's a free-to-play game. Once you start getting into it a little bit, it turns into a little pay-to-win. Got another force. Lizard Blade.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
Really cool.
In fact, that's our second alt of that card, and I may be picking that up myself to swap some cards around.
So Magic the Gathering Arena is really just Magic on your cell phone.
Yeah.
You can earn packs whenever you buy certain bundles. They come with codes with more packs.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get real Magic cards and get digital Magic cards for getting real Magic cards.
Yep.
The cool thing about it is that it gets you through the format and it gets you through the way to play, through the stages of playing, which is one of the most challenging things to figure out. And then once you get to that point, then you just read what's on the card and do that. And like I said, it becomes a pretty fun, enjoyable way to spend an afternoon. Now, I will tell you, it can be time consuming, especially whenever you're building decks. I was building decks with my wife the other day. Sounds kind of funny, doesn't it? Building decks with my wife the other day. And we spent 4 hours just fine tuning a deck. Because you got to go through. Now, I mean, that's also, I'm a baby Magic player. I've only been doing this for about 2 months, whereas somebody like him, he like, that's why he's cracking packs so much faster, because he's like, yep. I'm like, okay. And now he's just sitting here, he's like, you got 2 more.
I also got the last. I think I pulled the fire for the last bit of your box here, because we got another Jin Cataxius here.
Ooh.
So hey, that's another cool one. But what did I say? There's 4 Planeswalkers in this set.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, here's the last one. It is Tezzeret. This is Tezzeret, the Betrayer of Flesh. There are a lot of people in the Magic world, at least the story-wise, the lore, he was looking for this guy to make him pay. He owes a great deal for the suffering.
That's awesome. So we did get we opened 4 boxes, 4 draft boosters, and we got
one of each of the Planeswalkers.
I think, did we get all of the legendary shrines?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, those are uncommons. Yeah, we got all of those for sure.
All right, go grab a set booster.
Yeah,
just a single set booster pack.
Yep, because unfortunately we sold all our collector packs.
Yep, we sold our last of our collectors. We just totally didn't even organize any of this while we were doing this. He did a better job than me. I just like put it there. So now we get to resort it later. Yay! But so what he's getting. Yes, Chris. That is absolutely making me nervous. And you know how wobbly this table is. So the fact that it hasn't fallen yet, I'm quite entertained by. We may even challenge it.
I did you one better. Got one for each of us to look at.
Okay, so now what we're gonna do. So this is a draft booster. What we've been opening this whole time, right? And this is a set booster. The set boosters have 12 cards instead of 15.
Yeah.
And
the reason for that is because of draft. And I can explain how the draft format works in a minute. But there's a reason for 15 versus 12.
And in these, you get a guaranteed art card.
Yep. So there's our art cards.
I'm gonna save that one because it's Junji. He's cool.
Oh, nice.
I like him. He's a black dragon.
Yeah. We got the Myojin.
Ooh. And then you get.
What are the odds? Mine's foil.
mine's regular.
You do not, by the way, just FYI, you do not get one of these in every single set booster pack. It is going to be either one of these, a basic land, or one of the life gain lands. So just a heads up, if you get frustrated or disappointed by it, sorry. I was too when I found that out.
And I will tell you that
you also always get at minimum of 2, sometimes 3 of these showcase cards. So there's a limited list number of these showcase cards. And I think Charles has pulled something really cool. And they always come in the front of this, and they range your uncommons and commons. I think Charles pulled something really cool. Whoo! Charles, nice.
So we pulled a Tezzeret Artifice Master Legendary Planeswalker. He was talking about Tezzeret. That was the last Planeswalker we were trying to get.
Go ahead.
So it is a mythic from the 19.
Yeah, so from Core 19, but it's not from Core 19. What this is, so not every set booster pack. A lot of them, generally if you buy a box, you get about 5 or 6 in a box. If you look down in this bottom right-hand corner, there's a little Planeswalker symbol. This is a list card. And this is another bonus treat that come in set booster packs that don't come in any other pack. Your collector boosters, draft boosters do not come with these list cards. Wizards, to get some of these cards into circulation, has graciously added these to some boosters. Sometimes they're commons, uncommons, rares, mythics like this, and generally they're much needed reprints. This one is like $15+ bucks, so it's a good hit.
So if you bought a $6 pack, you just made your money back right there.
Almost doubled your money back. So yeah, that's a really good hit. Really cool.
Now
really
a set booster, so I got an extra foil.
You get one guaranteed foil for sure.
And I'll tell you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of these are ones. 7 of these are ones that I've pulled several times over from the draft. So it's not like you're getting a whole different shebang. You get just a better shot. Like the Moon Circuit Hacker, we pulled that, but that's going to be the alternate art.
Yes.
So Spinning Wheel Kick, we had one of those. I had a bunch of him, and then got an extra rare. So
in the case of Charles, actually opened a pack with a rare and a mythic in it. That's hard to do in draft boosters. The only way to do that is generally by getting a foil. So you happen to get lucky in getting a foil for that. Set boosters, I've seen open up a max of 4, get 4 rares and or 4 conglomeration of 4 mythics, rares, and things like that. That's exclusive to set boosters and to collector boosters.
And just as an example, slowly going through my last draft, I got 1 foil of a basic, of a common, and then everything, and then a mediocre rare, and then the rest are just commons and uncommons that we've pulled a dozen times over. So it's really, if you can get your set boosters, because as you saw, just in that set booster, we pulled more value than half dozen packs of draft.
Sure.
So and set boosters are only $2 more.
Yeah.
In general. Now, like once things go out of print, and certain stores charge more, but once things go out of print, then we kind of have to start matching the market. That's the thing that a lot of people don't catch, is that sure, it's $6 today, but whenever I can't get it anymore, $6 is really generous.
Mm-hmm.
So now what we're going to do, before we say goodbye for right now, because I still have to do Tuesday Night Treasures.
Yeah, I will be leaving and going home.
He's going home. I'm going to set up for Tuesday Night Treasures, so we'll be live again in about 15 minutes. But we're gonna see how high we can get this to go.
Oh, you want to stack that stack? Oof, bless you.
Because Chris called it out. If Chris hadn't called it out, then I wouldn't be doing this. Now I'm not going to mess with these because these are the high dollar cards and these are all commons and like nothing. But these are all going into the bulk game.
Oh yeah, this is all bulk.
So it's like whatever. See if we can stack all the bulk in one stack.
Man, you're making me nervous.
I mean, you're about to go home. I'm the one who's going to have to clean it up.
Still.
But it's kind of funny.
All right, I guess I'll play along too. Let's see. This is the stack of lands that are there. It's like playing Jenga.
It is kind of Jenga-y.
If we breathe wrong, it's going to all come tumbling down. Those are uncommon lands.
And everything else may have some value.
Well, these are foil. Well, these are some foils that are not rares. I was setting my rare foils down in a separate area.
That was whenever I was trying to organize.
Try. Well, I'm happy to see some of the mythics and things we got. There's a chance I'm picking up that Wandering Emperor soon because I would love to have more. I only have one myself, and that was a very good Planeswalker card.
Yeah, there's a couple of just making sure that I don't brick anything that might be good. Yep. Last one.
All right, let's see if it collapses or not. Ooh, it's moving. All right.
Yay! Oh wait, we're not quite out of picture yet. We're almost out of frame. There, we're out of frame. Yeah!
I'm hiding behind the tower now.
Okay, guys. Well, we've been hanging out for about an hour now, so I appreciate all of y'all watching our insanity and our ridiculousness. Thanks for talking Magic with me tonight,
Absolutely.
Ryan.
My pleasure.
And hopefully y'all got something out of this. And if you're watching this and you want any of the cards you saw us pull, and I know we didn't show a bunch of them just because, a bunch of it's bulk. So you get to look through the book yourself. But if you saw any of the legendary card or the rares or mythics that you want, they will probably be in the glass or in a notebook tomorrow, or a binder. We'll call them binders here. If you don't know, if you're not a Magic person, you want to come in, we have binders for all the colors, standard, non-standard, and multicolor, and the binders are 1 through 5 and 5 through 10, and then everything in our glass is $10 and up. So if you come in and you're like, "Ooh, how much is that?" and we go, "Oh, that's $30," and you're like, "Oh, that's no." If you see it in the glass, it's at least $10.
At least.
And up to $900.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the binders 1 through 5, a lot of this will end up in the binders. A few of these, we found about a half dozen cards that are going to end up in the glass. So
sure.
Any of these that you need for your collection that you saw, or even just the ones that were silly. Also, for the full art Japanese lands, the regular ones, you can start down stacking that. The regular ones are $1. The foil are $3, and those will go straight in the glass.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a healthy chunk of those right there.
That's gonna make some of our locals very happy to see, because they've been asking, when are you gonna get them back in stock?
I say the same thing, and I don't need any more black and reds. I was nice though, because my wife's deck is red green because she got one of the Kamigawa commanders.
Oh, she did.
So I was nice and gave her all my red lands.
Yeah.
So she has all my red
what
lands.
A sweet,
so
loving
now
husband.
Now I might have to give her I might have to get some of these red lands so I can give her red lands back. But either way, Anyway, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for talking Magic with us, Ryan.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having a fun time and just goofing off.
Oh yeah,
and,
totally fun.
And watching us on all the different platforms we're on. Yep. So hour and 20 minutes playing with Magic cards without actually playing Magic isn't too bad. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll be back online in about 15 minutes with Tuesday Night Treasures for Marvel Independent and collectibles and some novels. We did just get novels. The novels we got aren't new novels, but I will tell you that we got them in so that you know that we have more books in, and we'll discuss all that in about 15 minutes. Anyway, say bye, Ryan.
Bye. Bye, Ryan.
There you go. I was waiting for you to say bye.